So in our third section of lecture topic hearing loss, now we will talk about the ototoxicity and noise trauma. In this we will talk about the ototoxic effect of some drugs, in which very commonly are aminoglycosides, which are antibiotics, and then some salicylates and some other drugs that can cause ototoxicity. Also, we will talk about the noise-induced hearing loss and acoustic trauma. Then also in this section we will talk about some non-auditory effects of noise. If somebody is exposed to high noise, besides causing effects on the hearing, it has certain other effects on the patient also. So we will talk about non-auditory effects of noise. So ototoxicity. First, what is ototoxicity? Oto is ear, and toxicity, as we all know, is the toxic effects of the things or drugs that can lead to toxicity of the ear or toxic effects on the ear. So drugs and chemicals can damage the inner ear and cause sensorineural hearing loss, tinnitus, and sometimes vertigo. Vertigo is dizziness, like spinning, feeling that the room is spinning, and tinnitus is the ringing sound in the ear. So all these can be due to ototoxic effects of some drugs and chemicals. Aminoglycoside antibiotics, which can cause ototoxicity, are they selectively, how they can cause this ototoxic effect. They affect the type 1 hair cells of the crista ampullaris, but if administered in large doses, they can also damage the cochlea. So antibiotics, aminoglycosides, they have bad ototoxic effect, and in smaller doses they can destroy the hair cells in the crista ampullaris. But if in large doses, it can destroy the cochlea itself. Then the patients at risk, usually they have with impaired renal function. Patients who have their kidney functions are not normal, if they are impaired, they are at more risk of developing ototoxicity from aminoglycosides. Elderly people, their kidney functions are poor, so their everything else like metabolism is affected also. So these can cause, elderly people are more prone to ototoxic effects. Concomitantly receiving other ototoxic, if aminoglycosides with other ototoxic drugs, so their effect is exaggerated. If patient is receiving high doses of ototoxic drugs and having susceptibility to aminoglycosides. Different patients have different reaction to certain drugs and chemicals. If susceptibility, or if they are more prone to the effect of aminoglycosides, they have more chances that they will get the toxicity, more bad or more severe toxic reaction. So here in this diagram, these are the ears, and then we have different aminoglycosides that cause ototoxicity, like amikacin. Then we have kanamycin, tobramycin, gentamicin, very commonly used drugs. Gentamicin and these tobramycins, these are very, very commonly used aminoglycosides. Now their uses is little less, but in old times, the aminoglycosides are very, very commonly used antibiotics. And their major effect is also ototoxicity and nephrotoxicity. They affect the kidneys also. Then the ototoxic effects of salicylates, how they affect the ears. They affect mainly by causing bilateral sensory neural hearing loss, particularly affecting higher frequencies. So salicylates affects the higher frequencies, and they also cause tinnitus and bilateral sensory neural hearing loss. How they cause it, if you see here, this is the organ of Corti, this is the cochlea. In the cochlea, there is organ of Corti. So salicylates mainly affect the hair cells in the organ of Corti hair, stereocilia and hair cells in the organ of Corti. That's the mechanism by which salicylates causes the ototoxicity. Hearing loss due to salicylates is reversible after the drug is discontinued. So good thing is once the drugs are stopped, this condition is reversible. Then topical ear drops, use of drugs in the middle ear can also damage to the cochlea by absorption through oval and round windows. So different drugs that are used for ear infections or for wax or different things. When the drugs are used, they can also cause sometimes ototoxicity by absorption through the oval and round windows. Some drugs that can cause ototoxicity. In this chart you can see we already mentioned aminoglycosides, in which some common ones are streptomycin, gentamicin, very commonly used aminoglycoside. Then we have kanamycin, neomycin, netlmycin. So all these are very common aminoglycosides. Some diuretics also. Diuretics are the drugs used for urine output, diuretics. So furosemide, bumetamide, ethacronic acid, these are also diuretics, are used for blood pressure and to lower the fluid in volume or fluid retention. So diuretics can also cause ototoxicity. Anti-malarials, drugs used to treat malaria like chloroquine, quinine, and hydroxychloroquine can also cause ototoxicity. It's good to know the list of these drugs. So if the patient comes and they complain of hearing loss and they are using these drugs, so that's the first thing that comes to the mind, that might be due to the ototoxic effect of these drugs. Cytotoxic drugs, cisplatin, carboplatin. Then we have analgesics, commonly salicylates are the like aspirin, indomethacin, phenylbutazone, ibuprofen. They can cause ototoxicity. Chemicals like tobacco, alcohol, marijuana, carbon monoxide, and some miscellaneous drug like erythromycin, ampicillin, propranolol, and propylthiouracil are all the drugs that can cause ototoxicity. Next, the noise trauma. Hearing loss associated with exposure to noise in boilermakers, iron and coppersmith, and artillery men. These can also cause the hearing loss due to constant exposure to noise. And then this is the vestibular nerve that can be affected, and vestibular organs. These are the vestibular organs, semicircular canals, and these are the organs that are involved with balance, motion, position. These are all the organs. So constant high noise, people who are exposed to noises, they can also have hearing loss, and this can cause noise trauma. Acoustic trauma, permanent damage to hearing caused by a single brief exposure to very high sound without temporary threshold shift. So acoustic trauma is a single brief exposure to very high noise also can cause hearing loss due to acoustic trauma. Then noise-induced hearing loss. Hearing loss follow chronic exposure to less intense sound is mainly due to people who work in a noisy environment and noisy occupations. They are exposed to low volume sounds that can also cause hearing loss. So in this temporary threshold shift, and this is hearing is impaired immediately after exposure to noise but recovers in some time. So it's temporary threshold shift. And then there is permanent threshold shift in which the hearing impairment is permanent and does not recover at all. So noise-induced hearing loss is exposure to noise, chronic exposure. And chronic is usually people who work in noisy environment and they are exposed to that noise for years and years that can cause the hearing loss. Can be temporary, can be permanent. Temporary one recovers after some time, permanent do not recover. So in this noise-induced hearing loss, we have some charts that gives us how much is the noise level and how much should be the daily exposure. So noise level, if it's 90 decibel, it's on average, its daily exposure should not be more than 8 hours. Similarly, for 92, it's 6 hours. So as the noise level increases, the exposure should be less and less. If very high noise level and exposure is high too, it can cause damage rapidly. So this is noise-induced hearing loss depends on frequency of noise, how loud it is, intensity and duration of noise, continuous versus interrupted noise, susceptibility of individual, and if there is any pre-existing ear disease. So if there is pre-existing ear disease, it will be damaged or affected fast. If there is high frequency, if it's continuous, and the susceptibility of the individual is also responsible. So all these are the factors that can lead to noise-induced hearing loss. The non-auditory effects of noise not only affect the hearing, it also slowly causes anxiety and agitation and depression in the person because it affects the rest and sleep of the individual. If you constantly hear the noises from the neighbors and from the surrounding and you can not sleep properly and rest properly, that can affect the physical alertness, that can affect the mental alertness, and slowly these can lead to the lot of other serious mental conditions also, and that can cause depression and anxiety. So noise has not only effect on the hearing, it has non-auditory effects on the general well-being of the patient also. So that should be addressed properly. How it can affect the non-auditory effects, how these happen, mainly through the activation of autonomic nervous system and pituitary adrenal axis, and it can cause annoyance and irritability. Also, it can cause hypertension, constant stress, anxiety, sleeplessness, tiredness, fatigue. These are the common factors that can lead to high blood pressure, and also peptic ulcer can also be due to stress. So these are all the non-auditory effects of the noise. So that was all about the ototoxicity and non-auditory effects of the noise, and the how noise can cause the hearing loss. Thank you for watching sqadia.com.